Now these are Meta's new smart glasses in collaboration with Ray-Ban. It's their first attempt at making lightweight and stylish eyewear, featuring a small wearable display and neural band that controls them, representing an early step on the path to real AR glasses, letting you discreetly navigate the streets, take photos and videos, listen to music, watch content while commuting, check for weather updates, translate languages in real time, and ask your AI assistant for help, having it answer questions or analyze your surroundings, all without having to pull out your phone. That said, it does come with caveats, such as limited number of apps, weak battery life, not being fully waterproof, a case that will drive you crazy, and much more. Stay tuned! Before I tell you everything you need to know, it's worth mentioning that this video is not sponsored by Meta, and that I purchased these glasses myself during the launch at their flagship store. I've been testing them for over a week now, and as someone who used many types of glasses, including the new Oakleys and Meta's Orion prototype, I think I can give you a pretty good overview of what $800 offers, and most importantly, if it's worth buying. But first, let's see what's in the box. The packaging feels premium while keeping that minimalistic vibe. Inside, you'll find a sleek leather case that's completely foldable, doubling as a charger, a USB-C cable, a soft cleaning cloth, and of course, the glasses themselves. They look very similar to the classic Wayfarer-style Ray-Bans, but definitely chunkier. They come in black or sand with two sizes, standard or large. Also part of the set is the new Neural Band, a smartwatch-style device that reads tiny electrical signals through your wrist muscles, translating them into controls, and even features subtle tactile feedback. It comes in 3 sizes, matching colors, and you juice it up with the magnetic charger included in the box. The setup is pretty straightforward. You pair the glasses and band over Bluetooth through the Meta AI mobile app, and it gives you a short tutorial explaining the basics. It is good to know that the Meta display is not completely standalone, relying on your phone for data and reception. How the glasses work is through a single waveguide display embedded in the right lens, which projects a 600 by 600 resolution with a 20-degree field of view. That feels like a 30Hz display. I don't want to get too technical here, but it basically bounces light through the lens directly into your eye, creating a HUD that floats in the right corner and completely invisible to anyone looking from the outside. Brightness ranges from 30 to 5000 nits, automatically adapting to different lighting scenarios. Stick around as I tell you later if these specs actually hold up in real life. The videos I'm showing were created in post and aren't a true representation since your eyes perceive the display differently. It's almost impossible to reproduce that feeling on camera. To really experience it, you'll need to book a demo. Now that you know how the glasses work, let's talk about the Neural Band. As I just mentioned, this gadget takes it up a notch. It lets you go totally hands-free and is designed to be worn on either wrist. The gestures you can do are swiping your thumb to quickly navigate through the menu, double tapping summons Meta AI, pinching your fingers confirms or lets you go back, and twisting and turning controls various things like navigation or volume. It also lets you zoom in while recording, which I'll cover in more detail shortly. Combined with the subtle tactile feedback, confirming your gestures, it's one of the most cutting-edge tech you can experience. It makes you feel like Tony Stark. The writing feature Mark showed at Connect isn't available yet, and I'm surprised it doesn't come with fitness features either, keeping track of your health. So in the end, you can control the glasses in 3 ways. Talk to Meta AI, swipe along the temple, or summon things with the Neural Band. In terms of comfort, at 69 grams, I don't find the glasses heavy at all. I'm used to wearing large frames all the time, so these are right up my alley. But I can understand if you prefer smaller ones, they may take time to get used to. Outdoors, the transition lenses are quite effective, and with a good outfit, look fashionable. The tinted lenses make them blend right in among other sunglasses and have given me enough confidence to rock them without worrying what other people think. When it rains, you do need to be careful, since they only have an IPX4 water rating, handling light drizzle. I'm going to be honest here, indoors I do feel a bit dorky from time to time, and makes me wish they always had that slight tint. But whether I'm inside or out, no one seems to notice I'm wearing smart glasses, unless I'm in a call, which says a lot about how subtle the design is. Oh, and before I forget, prescriptions go from about -4 to +4, costing extra. The neural band, on the other hand, is something you easily forget you're wearing at all. It can be discreetly worn under your clothes, and since the glasses don't need to see it for tracking, you can control stuff with your hand resting naturally by your side. They can withstand temporary immersion in up to 3 feet of water for about 30 minutes. However, it doesn't respond well to sweat. I've noticed the controls become less reliable. In general, it takes about a day to get the hang of the gestures, which then work accurately about 95% of the time. After a while, it becomes second nature and almost effortless to use. The thumb swipe can be a bit finicky, especially when you're on the move, as your arms naturally swing as you walk, making consistent input tricky. While being super innovative, I'm already noticing the fatigue. Grabbing my Apple Watch and putting it on every day is no problem. But the moment I think about the neural band, I already give up on the idea of having to do it. I honestly wish they were just one thing, and I wouldn't be shocked Meta is already working on their own Apple Watch. Anyways, I gotta say, I've really enjoyed using the Meta displays for everyday use, and want to highlight a few apps that in my opinion show the most potential. Let's start with navigation. Maps, as it's called, is like having a GTA mini-map in first person. It's next level. It can show you nearby locations, guide you to restaurants, stores, or landmarks. I'd love if it could project a real path onto the ground, but as these aren't true AR glasses, the visuals remain flat overlays. For safety reasons, it's not recommended to use them while driving. The feature is still in beta and currently limited to short walking distances. The Meta AI app includes a driving detection mode that you can enable, automatically switching to audio only when it senses higher speeds. The 12-megapixel camera is another highlight. Unlike the regular Ray-Ban Metas or Oakleys, you can get a live preview of what you're capturing, so you can frame things perfectly and even zoom in. This is an absolute killer feature. People with poor vision could technically use it like a pair of digital binoculars, but I can also see how others might abuse it, becoming infamous glassholes. It does help that the Meta display will light up once you start recording, but that's about it. You can play back the content you capture, restyle them with these funky AI filters, and then share them instantly via WhatsApp or Messenger. When the weather's right, photos look great and hardly ever come out blurry when you snap one fast. Video quality is 3K, 30 FPS with rad stabilization, looking good overall. But indoors, things can get grainy. Clips are capping at 3 minutes, and I noticed that recording continuously for more than 15 minutes can cause the glasses to overheat. Anyhow, thanks to the voice assistant, you can save notes and set reminders for specific times of the day. It's really nice to have them float beside you so you don't forget what you're looking for. This has easily been one of the hidden gem functionalities on the Meta displays. The same goes for text messages. They appear for a few seconds, giving you just enough time to glance at what someone sent. Since handwriting isn't supported, you're forced to dictate your replies or respond with emojis, which isn't ideal. You can open videos, photos, and GIFs, though internet links aren't supported. And when you've got a lot of messages to go through, being able to hold your thumb to scroll would not be a forbidden luxury. A total different subject is music. The glasses support Shazam, Spotify, Amazon, and Apple Music. These aren't standalone apps, but rather services you connect through the phone app, which then mirror playback to the display. At the moment, you can only see the album cover. A bit boring, I know, but it's easy to imagine this expanding to showing lyrics, upcoming concerts, or playlists. One thing that almost makes me forget about my phone though is video calling. It's great being able to share your first-person view with the people you're talking to. And yes, you can see them too. The only part that's missing is real eye contact, which is where Meta's codec avatars could eventually come in. The translation app is probably the coolest feature. When you're speaking with someone, it can transcribe what they say and show live captions. It currently supports Spanish, Italian, French, and English, and it's surprisingly accurate. There is still a noticeable delay, but for anyone who's hard of hearing or deaf, this could be a real game changer. Beyond that, the Meta display also translates written text and overlays your language directly onto the foreign one you're looking at, working impressively well. While visiting my parents abroad, it easily translated signs and labels from Dutch into, let's say, Spanish. And if that's not enough, it can even translate up to 4 languages simultaneously and read the text out loud. Last but not least, there's Meta AI, your voice assistant. You can choose between John Cena, Kristen Bell, or stick with the default voice. It can provide bite-sized information and display answers right in your field of view. What's particularly interesting is that it can assist in describing your surroundings, which is a huge help for visually impaired users. For those who are, Meta also included a screen reader option that transcribes the entire menu, bringing the experience full circle. Unlike most AI assistants on, let's say, your phone, it doesn't process your surroundings in real time. Instead, it needs to take a photo first and then analyze it, slowing things down a bit. The 12-megapixel camera handles most situations well, though reading small text often has you lean in to give it a helping hand. When asking it to scan a QR code or play a video, it casually reminds you it's a text-based AI. Ironic, considering you're wearing glasses meant to visualize things. So overall, the UI, settings, and available apps still feel basic, often requiring too many steps or the help of your phone for extended functionality. I'd love to show you Instagram Reels, for example, but the app only lets you send messages to friends, which is surprising considering Meta is, after all, a social media company. You can watch videos sent through WhatsApp, but no YouTube or TikTok. The AppSense of an app store makes it feel more like a dev kit than a full-blown consumer product limited to Meta services. I can't help but imagine what Apple's version might look like. With the iPhone Air, we already saw how much tech Apple can pack into the plateau, which could be the formula for the ultimate standalone glasses. Apple's ecosystem, a Vision OS-style interface, watch controls, and seamless connectivity across all their devices would make it the logical next step in wearables, something Meta might struggle to match. Yet, they have one ace up their sleeve, an AI that's already smarter than Siri. It is worth mentioning that most information briefly shows before fading, except for navigation and video calls. It doesn't feel distracting, but more like a subtle notification system. As I briefly touched on, the display sits in the right corner, far enough from your eyes to feel comfy, and invisible to others, making it one of the most discreet wearables out there. You do tend to look slightly downward, which can make it seem like you're avoiding eye contact. And once people know you're wearing these smart glasses, they can kinda tell when you're checking something. The resolution of 600 by 600 might sound low on paper, but looks surprisingly sharp. To give you an idea of the field of view, here's me trying to show you how big the image is by physically holding it. Inside the glasses, the waveguides make the image appear much larger and farther away. For the time being, the field of view is decent, and you can adjust the text size, tilt, and zoom in on the UI like seen here. Quick head movements create an RGB-like blur that makes the HUD unreadable, but this is rarely an issue in normal use. I didn't experience eye strain or discomfort when focusing through or glancing over the display. My colleague, Brad Lynch, however, mentioned he has to cross his eye slightly to make it work, so I guess it depends on your dominant eye. Another reason to book a demo to find out if they are for you. I feel like waveguides in broad daylight combined with the adaptive brightness still need some work. In super sunny scenarios, especially out of the shade or when looking at cluttered environments, the display can almost disappear against the background, and reflections sneaking in from the sides only make things worse. It probably won't come as a revelation, but at night they look fantastic. Now, performance-wise, the software runs fine, but isn't free from slow loading times or crashes. You do notice it's running an old Snapdragon AR1 Gen 1 chip and 2 gigs of RAM. For the price, I expected Meta to pick something less dated. It's one of the main reasons I would tell non-developers to wait for Gen 2, as these will not age well. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but wait until you hear about its battery life. Trust me, I really tried, but I can't seem to be squeezing out more than 3.5 hours before running out of juice. That's me sporadically switching between, well, all its features. Nowhere near Meta's promised 6 hours. You technically could turn down the brightness, but at a certain threshold, it's difficult to see your information. Charging takes about an hour in the case, extending total battery life to roughly 30 hours, but having to slide them into the charger a few times a day does get tiring. The case, when not folded, is fairly big and has a tendency to open like a Pokeball when dropped. The neural band is far more efficient and easily lasts a day, but needs to be charged separately. Before we get to my final thoughts, the open-ear speakers deliver clear sound while keeping you aware of your surroundings. Great for walks, commutes, or work. They feature adaptive audio that automatically raises or lowers volume depending on ambient noise. When it's windy, I turn it off because it gets overly sensitive. Audio quality is solid, but not bass heavy enough to replace good headphones. Maxing out volume does cause slight bleed, but in normal use, no one around will notice. Oh, and here's a short microphone
test of me speaking through the microphone of the Meta Ray-Ban display glasses.
So to wrap it up, at $800, the Meta Ray-Ban display glasses are a technical marvel that still feel experimental. If you're a developer looking to stay ahead of the curve and help shape the future, someone with a visual or audio impairment, or just an early adopter at heart, this is definitely some cool tech to own. Especially the neural band, which in my opinion is the most interesting part of the set. For regular consumers though, I'd still recommend sticking with the Ray-Ban Meta Gen 2s without a display. Having used these for a week, it became clear to me that there are still many challenges that have to be tackled to go truly mainstream, but you can definitely see the glimpses of how it could eventually replace our phones for both work and personal life. Overall, it feels Meta rushed the display to market to stay ahead of Google and Apple. Besides a much better voice assistant, as an iPhone user, I can't get much out of the glasses, since I rely on Apple's Photos, iMessage, Mail, Fitness, and Apple Pay. Android users are in more luck. It will be interesting to see if Meta can somehow fill this gap, as Apple holds the keys to their own kingdom. That said, I'm so glad these exist. They mark the official kickoff toward affordable, full-on standalone AR glasses, being sold in stores and online. They're sure to spark a race among the big tech giants to make glasses and see who can win over the consumer. So drop a comment if you're interested in getting these, if you'll wait for the second gen, or if you're not feeling the display at all. Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, and bye bye for now.